Good evening. Welcome to the Thursday, June 11, 2015 meeting of the school committee. At this time, we'd ask that you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please have a seat. This time, I'd ask that we observe a moment of silence for our troops serving overseas. Thank you and good evening. Mr. Vice Chair, you'll be helping us lead the meeting tonight?
Yep.
Thank you very much. We'd like to begin with the Superintendent Receiver's updates, starting with the Lawrence High School graduation. Many of you were able to come to that wonderful ceremony on Friday night. We graduated over 747 students, and I believe we have a brief video to show a part of the ceremony.
Graduates, please stand with me and give those folks in the audience a standing ovation, a round of applause. Graduates, go ahead, get on your feet, y'all. Un aplauso. Un aplauso para las familias.
First off, I want to thank some very special people who I believe have been crucial to our success. Mr. Smith, Mrs. Balkas, Ms. Ornaka, Ms. Payano, Mrs. Martinez, Coach Neal, Mr. Johnson, Mona Lisa, Gabriela, Mr. Fakera, and most importantly, thank you, Mr. Ganell. I love you. Forget LeBron, forget Jordan. You guys are the real MVP.
Jariel Vega. And our final diploma to award this year is to our class marshal, Mario Tejada, from the Humanities and Leadership Development High School.
I would also like to thank the person who just read 750 names, Mr. Juan Rodriguez.
Graduates, please turn your tassels from one side to the other. By the power invested in me, by the Governor of Massachusetts and the Commissioner of Education, I now pronounce you graduates of Lawrence High School. You may throw your hats.
Once again, thank you to all school committee members for coming. I wanted to point out that on the DESE website, the turnaround plan renewal has been posted. We're going to email folks copies of that plan as well, which goes and looks at strengthening the work that we've done, as well as initiatives like redesigning the high school and focusing on ELL and special education. So we will make sure to get you a copy, but you can look at that copy now online on the DESE website. Another update that we have for you tonight is that we are in discussions with the teachers union on the career level 4 salary situation. You may recall that I think both sides felt that at a particular rung of the ladder of career level 4, we had some work to do and that some teachers were not being treated as fairly as we would like. We are hoping to work with the union to get a settlement on that, and we will provide you information as it becomes available. Other items to note for the school committee is that 8th grade end-of-year graduation ceremonies are about to be in full swing. Please confirm if you can attend. I believe you've been sent out information by Maria Cruz or Shalimar, and if you have not, please check in with them at the end of this meeting. It's always great to have school committee members who can come, particularly for their home schools, to those things. We recognize that some of those ceremonies happen during the day, and that's not always feasible, but if possible, we'd love to have folks come. The last day of school is June 19th. That will be a half day, and the school committee will recall that we made up 2 snow days. In addition to having 9 snow days, we made up 2, which will enable us to end on that Friday, versus most other school districts that are going to the next week, or in the case of my own children, the last week in June. So just please be aware of that. In your packets, I believe, if you have not gotten one, we will get you one, is the article we put in about time to tweak the mass school funding formula. This is something, Mr. Vice Chair, that we've talked about at previous meetings. Our belief is that the foundation formula has kind of flipped, whereas in the beginning it was positive for gateway cities and other cities. Now it has seemed to be not being able to catch up with inflation and the cost of doing business, and that formula needs to be redacted and modified. We hope that the modification will be positive for gateway cities like Lawrence so that we can continue the work where we've done. As you know, the rising cost of utilities, the rising costs of healthcare, and other items have had a profound effect on spending in all school districts in Massachusetts, and with this money, in my opinion, is not sufficient at this time. Any questions about that, Mr. Vice Chair, from the group? Okay.
Superintendent, I just have a question. We received a copy of the turnaround plan, the renewed plan from the DOE. Is there going to be something different in what you
No, that should be the one. If they
That's the
sent it,
one?
if they sent it to you as well, it's
Okay.
posted online, but we typically send that out. They've been
All right, they beat you to the
eager.
punch.
Yes, they beat us
Okay.
to the punch.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none?
Mr. Vice Chair, I need your help in working with the committee that we have before us tonight in setting up school committee dates for next year. If people want to continue with the second Thursday of every month, we recognize we don't have a full squad here today, but those who show up get to make the decisions, so I don't know how people feel about that, but we'd ask you, Mr. Vice Chair, to lead us in that exercise.
Any comments, questions, concerns? Pat?
I'm okay with the second Thursday of the month.
If I could just put in my 2 cents on this, I feel 6:30 may be a bit early. Last 2 meetings we've had kind of didn't start directly on time. Maybe moving it back 15 minutes may help with everyone getting here on time. Okay.
Also, is there any way, have we thought about holding the meetings at the parent center with the hope of maybe drawing more parents to come to the meetings?
Yeah, I think that's all on the table. That may be something we want to take up at the first meeting next year in September, but...
As new business?
Say that again?
Not as new business for next year?
As new business, but I think that's certainly on the table Ms.
I just wanted to make a comment about the Family Resource Center. So we extended the hours, so Thursdays. So we could definitely explore options of holding this meeting at the Family Resource Center, but we did extend the hours going into this next school year, and on Thursdays, it's actually the evening where we open until 7 for families. So I just wanted to put that out there when we are thinking about locations, that space might be limited on Thursdays at the Family Resource Center.
But the flip of that would be that, you would have parents there that would likely attend the meeting if
Because
if they're
we'll-
coming to the center. And I think that, we should make that available to them too.
Absolutely. I'm just worried about actual space. So if we're opening up, the room that we would normally use for running this meeting is going to be opened up for families between 4 and 7. But I can go back and explore this with Nelson to see if there are other spaces that maybe we can reconfigure so that we can make this happen maybe some Thursdays during the school year.
Jim, through you, Jim?
Okay.
If we hold the meeting a little later, if we're talking about having it at 7, then we could switch off.
Certainly. I just wanted to add that piece of information.
I mean, I think we can table a lot of this to the first meeting, which we'll probably have here, and then we can kind of make a plan. I hear what you're saying, Pat. It may be just a way to get people to come on that Thursday night when it's open longer, but I think it may be more prudent to wait till we have a full committee to do that vote. But
Okay.
I think this committee could vote at least to keep it on Tuesdays, and if the vice chair can lead us.
Thursdays.
Sorry. Just testing you, Mr. Vice Chair. Well done.
Is there a motion to continue Thursday evenings?
So moved.
Second? Any?
Second?
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay. Can there be a motion for the time? Would you like to do that
Any
tonight?
motions?
I move 7 o'clock.
Is there a second? No second. Are there any other motions? Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like, oh, is it on?
Should be.
I feel like 7 is a little too late
Yep.
for student reps.
Keeping it the same time?
I make a motion
6:45?
for the same time.
Okay, is there a second? Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. 6:30, it's 6:30 Thursdays, second Thursday of the month.
Fantastic.
And we can revisit if we need to with the full membership next September.
Great. We had a service day, I believe it was yesterday, both the Special Olympics at the Lawrence High School campus, where over 400 youngsters participated in that amazing event. Many of our schools brought their students, as well as schools from Lowell and Chelmsford. It was just an amazing day. New Balance was a great volunteer at that event, as well as at the Slee complex, where they did a lot of work on the play yard, and they were painting, and they were doing landscaping and other things. And I believe we have a short video of that at this time, just so that folks can see what's been taking place in our schools.
My name is Amy Sweeney, and I'm Community Outreach Manager at New Balance Charitable Programs Team. And I'm here at South Lawrence East and Spark Academy for the Spark Start Global Volunteer Day in Lawrence. Spark Start is based off of the company's long-held commitment to helping kids discover and nurture their love of movement and good nutrition for a lifetime. We hope that kids will find that spark, that special thing, that special way they love to move when they're young, whether it's dancing or soccer or baseball or yoga, and that will develop lifelong habits to keep them healthy, safe, and successful for their lifetime. We want the children and the families to know that companies can do well and do good in the communities where they do business, and this is something that New Balance has believed since its inception, that doing the right thing isn't always the easy thing, but it is the right thing to do. And we want the parents and kids to see that we care about them, and also know that they can be part of joining in their community to make all of our communities better in Lawrence and across the world.
Once again, thank you to New Balance and the other volunteers that came, work with our students. It was a great day and a perfect day, both for the Special Olympics and for that service day at Slee. So we continue to encourage outside agencies to come and work at our schools, whether that's through painting, small hardware projects, playground redesign, etc. We look forward to that continuing into the next school year. I wanted to call your attention, Mr. Vice Chair, to some school committee budget questions that were posed recently. I'm hoping you all have that document in your packet, and ask if there's any follow-up to that. We can bring Mr. Racine up as well if folks have any further questions. Title of the document is Responses to School Committee Budget Questions, June 11th, 2015. If you do not have one, please let us know and we'll get you one.
Any questions?
Not on this document.
Ms. Mariano, Mr. Santos? No? No questions?
Okay. I believe that, I just do want to point out, people ask who are the partners running our schools, and we have listed those on the sheets. You see Up Leonard, Up Oliver, Community Day Arlington, Phoenix Academy, the LTU Oliver Partnership School, and the Lawrence Family Public Academy. Just a general reminder that all of these schools are AFT schools, and there is no charter or lottery for any of them. So just as a general reminder, they're all district schools that have come in and given up their charter, given up their lottery, and used unionized teachers as part of our level playing field that we have inside the Lawrence Public School District. With that said...
Mr. Receiver, one question?
Yeah.
Did you have a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, so highlighting these schools, do we have a contract with them? And just refresh my memory, because there's so much that we know. Or do we have a contract with them, and how long is this going to be?
Mr. Racine, do you want to come up? I think we have an MOU and a contract with them that has to be renewed, and he's going to remind me if it's every 3 or every 5 years.
Okay, what the terms are, just as a refresher. I'm sure
Yeah.
we probably discussed this before, but now that we're talking about it again.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So we have contracts with these organizations that vary, but they're really 3 years, but we could be at different points in that contract process for those organizations, but they're usually 3 years.
And what's the determinant factor if we renew the contract with them? Money or performance?
I think overwhelmingly it's performance.
Okay.
You know, I think we've been very clear with everyone that, you know, results do matter. And with that said, it's beyond test scores. I mean, we want to see kids involved in high-quality enrichment opportunities. We want to see kids using critical thinking in their approach to their lessons. We want to see kids showing evidence of hard work and determination and perseverance. So, you know, we certainly have criteria that we look at for the functioning of school. And at the same time, I would say we give folks a runway and recognize that things don't always come off perfectly in the first year, and this is kind of new territory for all of us. So whether that's the LTU Partnership School or Up Academy Leonard, I think both would come and tell you they've had challenges in their first year, but both also made significant gains in their first year. So we recognize that everyone's going to have some bugs to iron out in the beginning, but after 3 years or a renewal of that 3-year contract, we want to make sure we're getting better results for kids than we were getting previously.
It is worth noting that for all of these schools, they are either trying to turn around a level 4 school that was designated, opening a new school for at-risk students, or starting up a brand new preschool program in this situation for Lawrence Family Public Academy.
Any further questions? Okay.
So once a school reaches a level 4 like status, is that taken away?
So the level 4 status is a designation by the state based on school performance. And there's a requirement for the school district to make certain interventions in those schools, and then they're given a certain time period for the school to perform to exit level 4 status. So all of our level 4 schools are still in that window where they still need to reach a certain bar to then eventually be evaluated to exit level 4 status.
Questions?
So jumping on the level 4 then, so are they all, and I know that we probably have this in a sheet, are they all still at level 4, or what's the, just remind us and the people at home what it takes for our schools to get out of level 4?
It's a great question. Many, well, some of them are, they get
just as
kind
a
of.
reminder, because I know that some schools are really doing well and they're still at that same level because there's a process. So if you could just remind us, since
Yeah, I mean, I think there's, first of all, let me say there's, I think, a misconception that some of these level 4 schools have gone to be level 1 schools and are part of the tripling of level 1 schools that we have in the district. That's absolutely not true.
So no one on
None
this
of these
list
schools have been eligible yet to go and be assessed in what level they're going to be in. So they get kind of a 3-year window, they're given a grant, and then they come before the state and they use the metrics that the state uses, everything from test scores to attendance, and they come in and do school works, or somebody comes in and does an assessment of the school, and they make a determination of the functioning of the school. And then after that certain amount of time, then they can be redesignated. We do anticipate that several of these schools will move out of level 4 and go directly to level 1, but I don't want to make any projections on that just yet. I don't know, Mr. Racine, if you want to add anything to the process.
The only other thing I would add is that there also is a delay in terms of their designation for some of these schools because they've also been increasing in enrollment, so they've phased in. So some of these schools have started with 1 or 2 grades and then started to serve the entire school. And so none of these schools have operated at full enrollment for 3 years.
Thank you.
Yep.
I guess my question would be, is it possible for us to get just dates on when the contracts are up and when they're going, or if they've been renewed, or if they're...
Yeah, we can get you dates on contract expiration as well as when they're going to come before the state for review.
Right.
And as Mr. Racine said, like, well, it may be 3 years, but one school may be given 4 years because they started with only 1 grade and they only start the clock when it's a full school. So I think we can get you that information this week.
Excellent, thank you.
Jim?
Pat?
Seth, are there any future, or any other schools that will be joining these schools as far as being partnered up? Do you foresee any more?
At this stage, I think we're looking at improving all of our schools and sort of taking it year by year to see their performance and expectation. In terms of designation of level 4, it's a state accountability system that we will find out in the fall if any of our schools would meet level 4 status.
So if, let's say in the fall, and I hope not, there's a new level 4 on board, would you entertain a motion to partner up with a provider?
I think we'd consider all options, but I think folks need to remember that these schools were, we brought in some providers to take over level 4 schools. Other level 4 schools chose, and we as the district worked with them to kind of turn around internally. So whether that's BMF or INT, some schools that we went through a deliberate process, we didn't think we needed a partner. And what we need to do is kind of assess. I mean, my hope is that we won't have any more level 4 schools, but we won't know typically until the fall. I want to say with a pretty strong caveat that because of this transition between MCAS and Park and whether that's going to happen, and it is still up in the air, you could see test scores delayed from the state from the fall to maybe even the winter, and there could be significant changes. Let's for instance, if we do go to MCAS, well, if we do go to Park, how does that then translate into this level 4 system? Because now you have a different examination system for kids, and how do you grade kids on that? So there's a lot of unknown coming in the future, and we endeavor to give you guys as much information as we can, but I think it's fair to say we're going to be learning at the same time you are.
Any further questions? No? All right.
Thank you, Mr. Racine. Okay. At this time, I think we're moving to public participation. We have on our agenda tonight Mr. Molly. I believe you're up. Yeah. Welcome.
Good evening, honorable members. The year of 2015 has been the year of the triumph and success for our public school. Our public school now in the road to become the best in the nation. Turnaround plan has revived our public school. Today, more level 1 school, more high school graduate, more parental involvement. The impeccable leadership of Honorable Superintendent Raleigh, our public school, is in the road to become the best in the nation. Hoping our children with the best education and the future and opportunity to go to the best colleges. Our job as a citizen and parent is not over yet. Since we need to continue to support our teachers and their wonderful union, our teachers are the most important reason for success of our turnaround plan. Today, in the era of turnaround plan, our public school is the best model for Lawrence Public School. For the first time, have a parent resource center to promote parental and community involvement. The best education for our children has been under the leadership of Honorable Superintendent Raleigh. For the first time, the budget of this school is focused on the children and offering the best education for our children. For them. We are proud as a citizen and a parent with the hope of the best education and best future for our children. Our city of immigrants has risen up again. In this important election year, we the citizen demand of you as our elected official from District A to District F, continue to support our teachers and their union. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Malley.
Before moving to adjournment, Mr. Vice Chair, I just want to take a moment to say thank you and goodbye to some of our members. I believe Myra Ortiz and Jim Blatchford are both running for City Council.
Not quite yet. We still have September meetings.
September meeting?
September, October, November.
We'll save the cake till then.
We got a while.
Well, I apologize.
Trying to get rid of us quickly.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
Is there a party we weren't invited to after this?
Oh, we will have cake, but at the September meeting, I will thank you again for your service, and what I want to say is that...
Still not done until January.
January.
Last meeting will probably be December, I'd say.
Okay.
We can have cake every month.
I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm not opposed to that.
The Vice Chair can make a motion for cake every month, and we're willing to entertain it.
For the next, we can make it a bon voyage to remember.
Well, let me just say this. It's been an honor to work with folks on this committee. We haven't always agreed, but I've been in awe of your professionalism. It's my belief that this is the most professional board in Lawrence, and that you have taken your jobs very seriously, and I appreciate that. As a parent, I would want folks like you on a school committee for my children. So I guess we'll save the goodbyes till next year, but thank you again for that.
Just quickly, Mr. Santos, go ahead.
Yeah, excuse me. I want to say something. Probably I have problem for bring my wife over here. Probably I have to move by my country again. I feel so bad about that, but I try to take care of my children. I feel so sad about that, but the last decision is I received a letter from immigration. Probably I had to move back to my country, but nothing. I'm going to be help whatever I can do it for. I come, I'm back. And, it's not true again, yet, but I'm going to tell you when I have the last decision. But I want to tell you before somebody else.
Thank you, Mr. Santos, for letting us know, and thank you for your service.
There you go, you can say farewell to
I don't think it's just yet, right? Is it just yet? So we'll get the dates of departures right, but thank you for your service as well. Okay. No, Pat, don't try it.
Before we adjourn, I'd like the committee to wish our vice chair the very best of luck. Tomorrow's a very special day for him. It's his wedding day.
Wow.
So, wish him the very, very, very best.
Thank you.
Are there any thoughts you'd like to present with us at this time on that wedding day, Mr. Blattrip?
I suggest a small wedding for anyone who's going to be doing it in the future.
Well spoken, my friend. With that said, Mr. Vice Chair, would you adjourn the meeting for us?
Motion? Well, we have one more question.
One more question.
Or comment. I did want to share that on Monday, because I don't know if that was at the questions, or I probably should have came here on time and wanted to do it as public participation, but I'm going to use it from this seat then. On Monday, Principal Finn from the Arlington School, right? I call them Gators, and I have to remember what school it is. Arlington School. We took 40 young ladies to the State House, and they were well received by the Lieutenant Governor, by State Representative Diana DeZoglio. They were hosted with the concierge, top, I'm telling you, VIP treatment by Frank Moran's legislative aide. They were treated to a visit, a surprise visit by Mr. Legislative Aide, Mr. Blatchford here. And they also got to meet Veterans Affairs, is that his title? Francisco Urania. And they were allowed to go and have a one-on-one with the Women's Caucus.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Black Latino Caucus.
And Black Latino Caucus, who happened to have been an Arlington student.
Really? That's amazing.
And graduated and had Miss Finn as a teacher.
Wow.
So they got to meet two Gators that are in the State House and, tore up some grass and stuff that you might get a letter. Took some worms, stuff. They were still young ladies, but it was just an honor to be able to facilitate that and bring them down there and see their eyes open to a totally different world. And I would make for a conversation come September as far as like what are we doing in civics to really start that from kindergarten on, just for them to know the basics of who the governor is, lieutenant governor, a part of their daily kind of routine as a do now or something. Because before we went into the State House, they didn't know who the governor was. There's 40 of them, and I want to say the majority, like, who's the governor? And they're looking around, they didn't know their name. I was like, well, at the end of this, everybody's going to know you guys were here. So I just wanted to share that we need to invest in our kids, and then we need to know that a lot of good, that they're going to be in that State House too, like those fellow Gators. That was amazing.
Well, thank you, Ms. Ortiz, and I know that you did a lot of work behind the scenes to make what sometimes are the best laid plans come off so that our kids could have a great experience. So thank you for that.
It all worked out in the end.
One final comment from our student representative, and then I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn.
Really quickly, from Arcania, the other student rep, and me, we'd just like to thank you guys for accommodating us and for giving us this opportunity and experience, and you guys have been just so nice, and thank you for that.
It's been an honor to have you.
there a motion?
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blatchford.